Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Hamilton Dunlop, and this is a weekly wisdom call that I do every Monday, 12 noon, to talk about the card of the week from this deck of 52 cards. These 52 are actually representative of the sacred geometric patterns of life, and it was hidden in plain sight. Persecuted, called the Devil's Bible, and that mindset still permeates. People still have that unconscious assumption and association. Even people in so-called New Agey spiritual circles still seem to be wary and skeptical of this because of that deep programming in our collective field. But anyway, shining the light, bringing that light out and opening up the consciousness so that we can see what's true and real as the ice thaws, as the layers of conditioning, sediment, programming melt, and we can awaken, warm up our consciousness to behold the truth. Each of these 52 represents a week. There's 52 cards, 52 weeks. This week we're playing the Four of Hearts. That's the energy in play in the field around us. And what that means is that it's an emotionally square kind of week. You can see that four hearts are in a box. So that symbolic arrangement tells us a lot about the emotional patterning this week. Hearts are emotions. It's about bringing alignment and structure to our relationships, organizing our feelings. That's what's in play this week. One of the downsides of that might be being too square, not being out of the box, and being too rigid in your expectations and assumptions of yourself and of your loved ones, trying to put people in a box and not let feelings come out of the box, hold the feelings inside the box so you don't really share what you're actually feeling. That may happen. So you want to be on the lookout for that. Whenever this Four of Hearts is present, that you're not saying how you really feel, you're keeping it all contained and closed, perhaps out of fear, perhaps out of certain assumptions and expectations about what's quote-unquote appropriate to share. So you may hold yourself back and hold your feelings inside of these categories, these social roles, or these proprietary assumptions about what you could and should say in any given situation. So you want to be on the lookout for burying and suppressing your feelings, and inadvertently, or maybe even deliberately, trying to ensure that everyone else stays inside of this box of your expectations and assumptions. Can make you kind of anal retentive, in a word. It could mean, for example, like I remember one woman telling me that she had to organize the towels in the bathroom, the hand towels, a certain way. And if it wasn't that way, she got really irritated by it. You know, these kind of trivial things that you may impose on others or on yourself of how things should be. Organizing the hand towels in a certain way, right? Organizing your emotions in a certain way, organizing your behavior in a certain way, organizing other people's behavior in a certain way. So you want to be on the lookout for that this week as I rub my nose, which is totally inappropriate behavior on a live video, but my nose is kind of itchy right now. I got to do it again. I'm not sure why my nose is so itchy right now, but it gives me a chance to talk about breaking out of the box so I can actually behave and act in a way that feels good for me. And so this is the invitation for you as well this week, is to expand the parameters of what's emotionally acceptable, how you allow yourself to behave, what you give yourself permission to do. It's a very good week for creating this solid structure in your emotional relationships with the people who you love. But again, I encourage you to define the terms and conditions in a way that is expansive and inclusive. Maybe let other people arrange the hand towels sometimes, Maybe have a compromise in how the hand towels can get arranged. Mix it up a little bit, because the larger order is more important, right? You can micromanage and get obsessed, or you can create a larger framework of possibility that makes everyone feel good. Four of Hearts, create a larger frame where people feel good, they can express themselves, share their feelings, do things their own way, allow their own eccentricities to come out to play. Bigger frame of reference. The good news is, with this energy present, you have the strength, you have the emotional fortitude to withstand these kind of changes, right? There's a resiliency that's present with this Four of Hearts that I encourage you to lean on and trust in, that you're resilient enough to adapt and improvise and move with the movements of other people's feelings. And that internal emotional resilience is what I encourage you to cultivate, to recognize it in yourself. Oh, I'm strong enough. I can say my feelings and it's okay. I can be vulnerable here and express what I'm really feeling, and that's okay. I can allow this other person to be vulnerable and express what they're really feeling, and that's okay. Right? There's enough space for everyone to share their feelings. And in that space, we're going to create a much more solid relationship, right? I mean, obviously, right? But we don't necessarily act that way. We close ourselves off. We block our feelings. I mean, it's all too common in our society. We don't allow ourselves space to say how we really feel. We don't allow other person's space to say how they really feel. And then we create these boundaries and these walls between us. Right? Like square. We create a boundary. And so I encourage you, don't live inside your own emotional boundaries. Take the opportunity to expand your emotional limits. Draw the emotions wider, right? So that you allow more space to include others in your feelings and in how they feel and in the way that you relate. So you create a wider, stronger organization of your emotions. And that's how you're going to be really happy. Right? You're going to have more space, more opportunity to breathe free because you're expanding your emotional container. And remember that you are resilient enough and strong enough to do that, to build a wider, stronger emotional container. One of the mantras that I like to work with this Four of Hearts is the heart is a muscle that gets stronger as we use it. Don't shrivel your emotions or shrink your emotions, because look at the energy. I'm like shrinking back in on myself, making a smaller emotional space for myself. You want to open up and expand your emotions. The heart is a muscle that gets stronger as we use it. Actually made it into a song too. The heart is a muscle that gets stronger when I use it. My heart is a muscle that gets stronger when I use it. I encourage you to sing that little ditty for yourself with this Four of Hearts present. My heart is a muscle that gets stronger when I use it. My heart is a muscle that gets stronger when I use it. Sing your way into playing your cards right. Bam! Strong emotional container, more space to be happy, more space to be you. Good luck playing the game of your life. And as always, I encourage you to live your life like it's your favorite game to play.